Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. I am Steve, and I am joined this week by
BC.
And on the keyboards,
Dylan.
Welcome back to episode number 2 of 2023, and we are finishing our 2022 wrap-up with our part 2. We did part 1 last week, and BC, how you doing since like the last 5 minutes I talked to you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
All right. Dylan, how about you? You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm doing great.
All right, yeah, I'm still recovering from my colossal fuck up on the last episode, and actually, this is take 2 of the beginning of the show. So, I don't think I fucked it up, but I thought I fucked it up. So that's why we're doing part 2.
Think that I thought that I did.
Yeah,
I thought I did.
but I didn't. I don't think so. We'll have to go back. We'll have to, like that commercial where they throw the review flag and you have to review it. And they go back. Well, maybe we'll have to get one of them going. But yeah, we wrapped up part 1 last week. We talked about our albums from 10 to 6, and we talked about some live albums. We talked about some disappointing albums, and so it's always, I like these episodes, and it's just been 2022 was like every year, and I'm sure you can go back and listen to all the year review things that we do. This gets harder every year. Every year you're like, okay, man, there was a ton of great shit out, so next year it's probably not going to be as bad. And then like I have like fucking 30 albums like that I just like loved from this year. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them that we talk about, like, you don't get to put them on your list because you don't have enough time to spend with all these albums. And kind of, if you listen to an album once and it doesn't catch you right away, you're like, okay, next, because there's like 3 more albums that came out that week that you want to check out. And then if something doesn't grab you right away, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. And it could be one, because how many albums have we listened to, BC, that even back in the day that like it didn't catch you right away, but then like it grew on you. But like anymore, it doesn't seem like you have that time because there's so much coming out.
Yeah.
But which I don't mind. So I literally have 30 albums on my list. And like I told these guys, I said my top 5 is pretty solid. From 6 back, you can intersperse with the albums that I'll talk about, like for the honorable mention ones. And so instead of doing what we're listening to that we just did like an hour ago, we're gonna go back to our albums from 2021, the top albums that we talked about in 2021 that were our top 10 albums. And so I went back, I checked them all out. I gave each guy a list of what theirs were, and then we'll just kind of mention them and see if you're still listening to any, or any has gotten even better for you. So I'll do BB's first, and once again BB is still in recovery mode from being sick, so it'll just be us 3 amigos here tonight.
The 3 bulls.
The 3 bulls, just the bulls. So BB's top 10 albums, I'll go from 1 down. He had Mammoth WVH, Plush, Iron Maiden Senjutsu, Black Label Society, Doom Crew Incorporated, Smith Kotzen, Dead Daisies Holy Ground, Todd Torrey, Rejoice in the Suffering, Jeff Scott Soto. I didn't look to see what that album was.
It was like the Duos album or whatever, because we were
kind of granting on him, right?
Yeah, because we thought that he kind of didn't play by the rules with that one.
Well, that's usually me.
Yeah.
And then he had Circus of Rock, Come One, Come All, and he had Rough Cut 3. And I asked BB which of those, if he was still checking in them out. He said he's still listening heavily to the Mammoth WVH, the Black Label Society, and the Rough Cut 3. Out of those ones, for me, the Plush I've listened to a lot because they were on the Kiss Cruise. They were fantastic. The Smith Kotzen I still check out. Senjutsu I still play at least once a week. The Dead Daisies I'll throw on, and the Tyler Torrey one I've still listened to quite a bit. How about you, Don?
For BB's list?
Yeah, and then, yeah.
Mammoth WVH definitely is one that I put on from time to time, along with Plush. Those are probably the two that I listen to the most because those are really great albums from up and coming. I mean, you could argue up and coming with Wolfgang, but
Yeah.
it was
He's a
his
new
first.
artist.
It was his first solo effort, so that's absolutely something to brag about. But yeah, those two albums, his top two for sure, are fantastic albums that I think have stood the year that they've been out.
What do you think, BC?
Oh yeah, I mean, just the other night I was listening to Rough Cut 3 through the CD in. And I ordered the CD. Iron Maiden, of course, I'm always listening at. I always listen to a lot of Jeff Scott Soto too. So I mean, not necessarily the one he picked, but the artists in general I've been listening to a lot of. And Smith Gotson, I really.
Smith Gotson's fantastic, isn't it?
Love the feel.
Yeah,
of it.
and actually, the Black Label Society Doom Crew, I was able to get that album signed by the whole band on the cruise, Kiss Cruise, which was fantastic. What'd you have for 2021, Dylan?
Yeah, my 2021, my number 10 was Gojira with Fortitude. Number 9 was Accept with Too Mean to Die. Number 8 was Dream Theater with A View from the Top of the World. 7 was Foo Fighters with Medicine at Midnight. Number 6 was Star-Lord with Space Rider. Number 5 was Dirty Honey, self-titled. 4 was Volbeat, Servant of the Mind. Number 3 was Trivium in the Court of the Dragon. Number 2 was Royal Blood with Typhoons. And number 1 was Ice Nine Kills, Welcome to Horrorwood, The Silver Scream 2. I listen to quite a few of these still. Ice Nine Kills, I listen to basically every week. Same thing with Royal Blood. Typhoons has a lot of songs on there that really just continue to get stuck in my head over and over because they're so catchy. Space Rider as well. Star-Lord, for a band that was made for a video game, that album it has no right to be as good as it is. So I'll put those on a couple times. And Trivium, of course, I said during the Kiss Crew trivia episode, I was listening to that album just last week. So yeah, I'd still listen to quite a few of those albums.
What do you got for them, BC?
Out of that list, I still listen to Accept, the Dream Theater. I try to listen to more Dirty Honey. And Trivium, I mean, that's a band that love live, and I gotta keep throwing some more on there.
Check out more studio stuff. Yeah, for Dylan's, the Accept Too Mean to Die, that I throw on all the time. And I've listened to that Star-Lord, that Space Rider album quite a few times, even after we talked about it. It was really cool. Ice Nine Kills, I've been rocking to that all year. A lot of those songs have been hitting my playlists.
Saw it live. A lot of those songs live.
Yeah, it was great. The Volbeat one I thought was fantastic too. That one is one that I definitely want to spend more time with. I have listened to it sporadically throughout the year, but I always enjoy it though. I think it's pretty cool. What'd you get for 2021, BC? What were your albums? I think we have a couple overlaps, I believe.
I guess 1 through 10. Iron Maiden, Sujitsu, Accept, Too Mean to Die, Dream Theater, View from the Top of the World, Thunder with all the right noises.
All the right moves you're thinking of the movie.
Yep. 5 was Greek, Night Ranger, and the band played on In the Machine, Phase 2, The Treatment, Waiting for Good Luck. That's the story of my life. 9, KK's Priest, Sermon to Demons, or Sermons of the Sinner. And Resurrection Kings at Skygazer. Out of this, I like I said before, Dylan's list, I still listen to Accept. Creek, I throw on every now and then. The Treatment, I mean, check it out. They've had a few albums out. Very great band, good band. And I just listened to not too long ago KK's Priest again because they supposedly going to be coming out soon with another
sermon.
Another sermon. Sermon part 2.
It's supposed to be. Believe it or not, heavier.
Wow.
Yeah, for me, absolutely, Senjutsu for sure. That's on my list as well. Except Too Mean to Die, I just talked about that. Thunder, All the Right Noises. That's a fantastic album. That was great. The Night Ranger one I've been listening to quite a bit. KK's Priest, I just listened to that myself like 2 weeks ago. But it's good that like some of these stick with you. You know what I mean? They're good albums that I would be listening to regularly.
Yeah, for me, Accept and Dream Theater are probably the two on your list that I've listened to since the list. Iron Maiden Sujitsu, it hasn't grown on me.
I love it.
It hasn't grown on me.
I fucking love it. And actually, I think that besides Brave New World, it is the best modern Iron Maiden album.
Ooh, I don't.
I
think
really
that's
do.
true.
I really do. I fucking
That's a
love
statement.
it. I fucking love that album. All right, so for me, I'll go from 10 up. Number 10, I had Exodus, Persona Non Grata, War King's Revolution, KK's Priest, Sermons of the Sinner, Halloween Self-Titled, Smith Kotzen Self-Titled, The Dead Daisies, Holy Ground, Iron Maiden Senjutsu, Except to Mean to Die, Thunder, All the Right Noises, and my boy, Durbin, The Beast Awakens. I fucking listen to that album all the time. I still listen to the Thunder album I'll throw on, Except I'll still listen to. Actually, I listen to pretty much everything on my list. I just have not listened to the Dead Daisies Holy Ground as much, but I still like my full list. I will still throw them albums on. I've been enjoying them.
Interesting, because I still listen to the John Corabi Dead Daisies quite a bit. I'm surprised that
I do too. I do too.
Stood the test of time.
I still listen to the John Corabi stuff.
Almost
Absolutely.
like John Corabi might be a little bit better singer for the band.
No.
Okay, yeah. Durbin Beast Awakens is one that
Shut up, Don.
from this list that I do go to. That is James. I've been a James Durbin fan since American Idol. I think he is a fantastic presence on stage. I don't think he fit Quiet Riot when he was with Quiet Riot, but he had an energy that was contagious. And it's like if he was with a band that fit him as well as Eric Grunwald fits with Skid Row, I think James Durbin could be massive. And this album, I think, showcases quite a bit of that.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Except, The Maiden, the crossovers. Smith Kotzen, I love to throw on every now and then. I picked up a Halloween, not the least one, but War Kings, I listened to not too long ago. Again, these are things I want to try to listen to more. And Dead Daisies, John Corabi. I agree with my
Shut the fuck up.
Partner-
Who asked you guys?
partner across the table.
All right, so that was our 2021, and I think it's interesting to go back and see what we had the year before, and then compared to, and I don't think anyone has put out consecutive albums years in a row. I don't think on anybody's list. I don't think.
Dead Daisies.
Dead Daisies. That's right.
Yep.
Other than that, I don't
Foo
think.
Fighters, technically.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, we didn't get to yours yet.
Yeah.
So what I want to do now is we've seen quite a few shows this year. Here's the ones that I have that I went back through my personal calendar and I got the dates that I've actually seen them, and I don't know. I know a lot of us have been to the same shows. I know BC went to a couple different ones. So for me, we did Monsters of Rock Cruise, February of 2022. Shitload of bands on that. I can't even get into who the hell played on that. Go back and listen to the wrap up and the pre-show too. March 5th, BC and I went up to New York and we saw Slash and featuring Miles Kennedy and Conspirators. We saw the Iron Maidens at Penn's Peak on March 11th. Dylan and I went to see Joe Bonamassa on March 14th at the Kirby Center. Fucking
So good.
unbelievable show.
So
Show. I drove up to Peekskill to meet my buddy Steve from Uncle Steve's Iron Maiden Zone, that also does the
I remember now.
I Remember Now Queensryche podcast with me and Ray from the Tales of the Devereaux Diaries Asylum podcast up in Peekskill, New York, up on April 3rd. Drove up to see that. I went to see Air Supply with my lovely wife and on April 22nd, and they were good. They were not terrible. All four of us went to M3, and that was the beginning of May 7th, 8th, and 9th last year. And we saw Ace. I went down to see Ace with Rob and Scott and Granza, I think. Yep. Me, Rob, Scott, and Rob's friend, Bill, I believe his name was, down at the Sherman Theater in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Dylan and I went September 9th to see the Terror Trio.
The Trinity of Terror.
Trinity of Terror, which was...
It was... We Came as Romans opened up the show. Then it was Black Veil Brides, Ice Nine Kills, Motionless in White.
Fucking fantastic
Amazing show. Oh my god. I'm still riding the high of that show.
That was great. That was a fantastic show. Then actually the three of us and Little Metal
Yep.
BC's son-in-law went to see Queensryche and Priest down at down in Wilkes-Barre.
Some of the Kiss crew were
The
also
Kiss crew,
in attendance.
Scott and Rob, they actually sat in the same row as us. Granza and Mo and his crew, they were there as well. And then the next night, BC and I went to see Accept down in Penns Peak. Was fucking fantastic. That was the Jason McMaster show. And then the next day, we went to see Iron Maiden in New Jersey. And that was me, BC, Mo, Granza, Jen, Steve Kaharski. Actually, Mo came down and rocked out with us at the pre-show. He moved up from where he was at. And actually, Mo was the only one besides me and BC that hit all 3 of those shows.
3 for 3 with
He
Mo.
was 3 for 3 with Mo. So, Mo, love you, buddy. Mo is my boy. And then after that, I went on the Kiss Cruise with Rob and Granza. And we met Tom and Zeus there and Tony and everyone else on the Kiss crew. My buddy Art. And then we came back and we saw Wasp and Armored Saint. Fantastic show. And then actually last week I went to, there's a band called 1224. They are a TSO tribute band, and they were absolutely fantastic. It's like going to see TSO without the pyro and the narration. Music was fantastic. They had 2 female singers. They were incredible voices on these women. And they had 2 violin players, 2 guitar players, bass player, and 2 keyboard players. I felt bad. The one guy was in a car accident like the night before, so he kind of sat and played, but he was great. So that's what I saw. So what do you think about those shows? And let me know if you've seen any other ones, Dylan.
No other ones for me, but I have to say there was not a miss in any of the shows that I went to. Maybe some for M3, like Cough, Ingve, Cough. But every other show was fantastic. Trinity of Terror was definitely the highlight of my year. Seeing Ice Nine Kills live was just mind-blowing. They were so good. I lost my voice for a couple days after that. But Joe Bonamassa was also just phenomenal. One of those shows that you knew you were going to be impressed, but you didn't know the level of impressed.
And he was sick that night.
And he was sick, but he could play guitar like nobody else. I would kill to see him with Black Country Communion, just to see those musicians live on stage together. And Judas Priest was fantastic too. I loved the set list. They always change it up. Queensryche was fantastic too, opening for them. But it was also cool at M3 seeing Blue Oyster Cult and seeing Skid Row. Those were my top 2 bands, I would say, because I never thought that I would see Blue Oyster Cult play M3. But you know what? Damn if they weren't fantastic. Did they fit the bill? Not at all.
But the crowd loved them.
The crowd loved them. And it was actually kind of similar to Zebra. Like, it was a similar situation with Zebra where, they didn't really fit the vibe of the evening, but everybody was super into it. They were fantastic. This was a really great year for concerts, especially since the year before, I don't think I really saw any concerts. So it was a nice kind of comeback, at least for me, seeing shows. And next year's looking like it's going to be fantastic too.
How about you, BC?
I'm trying to remember.
I know you went to see Elton John besides the ones we saw.
Yeah, we
That
did.
must have been awesome.
The ones we all did. My wife's a diehard Elton John fan, so it was over 2 years being delayed. So it was almost exactly 2 years later that he played down in Hershey. I mean, hey, you can tell he's old, but he still can. You can sing and play. I mean, he walked a little rough, but the band was phenomenal. I mean,
These guys always put together great bands.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, believe it or not, I knew a lot more songs than I thought I would. It was a good show. I mean,
He's a good showman.
BC singing Someone Saved My Life Tonight, Sugar Bear.
I like that song.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
That's a
I really
fantastic
like
song.
that. If I have to pick Elton John songs, that'd be in my top 3.
Yeah, I agree.
My mind's Jello most of the time, so I don't know if it was this year that me and Little Country and his brother went to see Jackal.
I think it was this year.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was this year.
And we went to see Warrant. I believe that was this year. Warrant and
Penns Peak.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Firehouse maybe.
I think it was Firehouse.
Yeah, I missed that one too.
There's something else I'm drawing a blank on, but like I said, it seems like this year, but it'd be like 2 years ago. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So
and-
Jackal and Warrant. I think it was Firehouse with them. There's me and your brother-in-law, Damien. We went to STP, but that might have been.
Stone Temple Pilots.
I don't know if that was this year.
That might have been the year before.
I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
Because he saw
They saw Greta Van Fleet.
They saw Greta Van Fleet this year.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that was his one concert for the year.
Yeah, he's done. He's good for a couple of years now. And for me, those shows, Slash was just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The Iron Maidens, finally got to see them.
Got to
They
see
are
them live, yeah.
friggin' killer. Got my picture taken with Courtney Cox. She was super cool. Dylan said the Joe Bonamassa was just friggin' unbelievable. And I will never miss him again when he plays around here. I will not. He absolutely must see BC. Must see. Queensryche, it was great seeing them play a one-off show, headlining show. I think there was like 5 bands that night. M3, I finally got to see fucking Zebra. They were a band. Remember they were supposed to play in Allentown, and then they canceled. I was like, fuck. I was like, if I had to walk to that show, I would have walked to it.
It was raining this year.
Huh?
Was it this year it rained? Crazy.
It did rain.
Yeah. The first, and it was
not as bad as the year before. The year before it was.
Yeah, we haven't had great weather for M3 for the last couple of times, even though we did miss the one on the 4th of July.
It was more cold.
It was It was freezing.
It was really cold.
So cold.
I remember.
It was literally, it was like 55 degrees on the Sunday when we went, and we were like, it was like warm out compared to what it was like the nights before. Oyster Cult was fantastic at M3, and I was the crowd really liked them. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go over, but like they were fantastic. They were great. Ice Nine Kills, they were great. I was really there wanting to see Black Veil Brides more. I thought they were great too. Motionless in White, they were probably the third one on the bill for me. They were good though. They were good. I wasn't familiar with I think I knew like maybe one song, but and now that this just kind of popped into my head for Ice Nine Kills, with them playing, with these bands playing, opening up for Metallica on these stadium dates. I wonder how that's going to work for the opening bands. Because they're playing in the round. So how is that, you know what I mean? How is that going to, how are they going to facilitate that?
Yeah, I feel
You know what I
they're
mean?
going to have to also kind of tweak their self to be in the round, especially with Ice Nine Kills, because they do the theatrics.
The screens and
that's not going to work in the round.
Right.
That's like
so it'll be like when we saw Alice Cooper in Daylight when they opened up for Maiden. You know what I mean? Like a show like that.
Like they
just
might
in
just
the
do
daylight.
a straight show where maybe they'll dress in costume, but kind of keep the theatrics to a minimum.
Right. But I was just kind of wondering, even just logistically, how are they going to pull that off?
Yeah.
Without having to, I don't know. It's going to be weird. And Accept is always cool to see. Like I said, it's always cool to see a different show. We got to see with Jason McMaster playing. The Maiden, our seats were fucking terrible again. Fuck you, Iron Maiden, with your ticket bullshit. Kiss Cruise was fantastic. Absolutely loved the Kiss Cruise. And it was good to see Wasp again. Last time I saw them, we saw them, BC, that's another story, at M3, and then we got to see them at Tinks years ago. But Armored Saints always good. Good to see John Bush back. So it was a good year for shows. It was a really good year for shows, and we have tickets for next year to go see Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Exodus. And that's in February. So we have tickets for that, and I'm hoping to get tickets for Metallica to go the night for Ice Nine Kills and Five Finger Death Punch. Is it?
Yeah, Five Finger Death Punch is playing with Ice Nine.
So I would like to go to at least one of those shows if possible. Probably be up. You have to duck when the airplanes fly over.
Yeah. Just like last time we saw them.
Yeah, no shit. But I'm definitely looking forward. I think we have Monsters of Rock. We're already booked for that. I'm gonna be skipping the Kiss Cruise this year, which is actually not until next year. It's gonna be January 2024.
Yeah.
So
probably skipping M3 as well.
Yeah, because M3, I mean, I feel that I am. I don't know how you feel about it, BC, because it literally, we get off the boat on the 4th of May, and M3 is on the 6th of May.
Yeah.
Work-wise, but with me and BC being off 2 shifts in a row, 2 guys off, and more, it's a lot. It's a lot to do, plus with family stuff and everything. It's tough. It's
There's
tough
really
to do.
nobody on the lineup this year is like, oh my god.
No,
Yeah.
and a lot of them
A lot
are
of them
ones
are-
that we've seen on
We're gonna
there
see-
or Monsters of Rock cruise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Like Styx is the only band that I'm interested in seeing that I haven't seen before, but like they'll tour
Okay.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's not like they're not gonna.
yeah, they'll hit like Penn's Peak again
Yeah.
or Montage
They're
or
a
something.
big enough band that they will tour the area.
Yeah. All right, so before we get going into our list, I'm going to play one of the songs from BB's album one of his top 5 albums he picked, and it's from the band Talus, Billy Sheehan, his original band, and the album's called 1985, and the song is called Inner, Mounting Flame. Dylan's going to play it right now.
There's nothing you can do to stop that inner mounting flame. Each time you touch the ground, you swear to God you'll feel the heat again. Your heart is melting to scream from your eyes. Can't face the things that are burning inside. There's nowhere to run to, there's nowhere to hide. She's fanning the flames so the fire won't She found you in the dark, and she got you glowing red. You tried to burn it out, but now you're burning up instead. Nothing to say that hasn't been said. She lit you on fire and left you for dead. It starts in your heart and it bleeds to your head. No sleeping at night 'cause you're dying in bed. There's nothing you can do to stop that inner mounting flame. Each time you touch the ground, you swear to God you feel the heat again. There's nothing doing to turn back the tide. Give in to the pressure that's breaking your mind. Fire and the flames start to show though you try. Hiding the symptoms all bottled inside. Your heart is melting, tears stream from your eyes. Can't douse the things that are burning inside. There's nowhere to run to, there's nowhere to hide. She's fanning the flames so the fire won't die.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed that Talus song. It was cool. I was kind of going through his things to pick one from his list, and it was the opening track on that 1985 album. Like, song's great. Let's just roll with that one. So hope you guys enjoyed that. And so we'll do the list now. And what order did we go in last time? Who went first on the last
Well,
one?
you went last.
I went last. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, I'll go first. I'll give you my 10 to 6 first, and then I'll get into the other one. So my number 10 was Slash 4, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators 4, Wicked, the Last American Rock Band, Saxon, Carpe Diem, Ailstorm, Seventh Rum of the Seventh Rum, and Dead Daisies, Radiance was my number 6. So number 5, my number 5 is solid. My number 5 is locked in. This band, I've been a fan of these bands since the mid '80s. They've always been solid. One of them bands with a million friggin' personnel changes and stuff. But this album came out in the spring of last year. Tokyo Blade, the album's called Fury. I've been rocking the fuck out to this album, like, unbelievably all year. It's a little long. I think they could knock 3 or 4 songs off it, but I love it so much, I don't know which songs I would knock off of there. Just fantastic. BC, I don't know if you've checked it out. Fantastic. And number 2, I did this album when we did the halfway albums, Kiss and Dynamite, Not the End of the Road. This is melodic hard rock heaven, this album. Absolutely love it. Key tracks for me. Actually, let me give Dylan. Just check out the Tokyo Blade one, because I forgot to mention key tracks on that one. But it's just kick-ass songs on there. So from Kiss and Dynamite, No One Dies a Virgin. This song is, the chorus in that song is just insane, friggin' fantastic. What Goes Up, Yoko Ono. I listened to that today. Fantastic. And they have a I don't know if it's a ballad. It's more of a mid-tempo, very melodic song. It's called Good Life. It is just a fantastic song. Just really good, well-crafted song.
And you can listen to us talk more in depth about that album on our Best of the Year mid episode.
Yeah.
Because that was your pick for that.
That was my pick for that, yep. And my number 3, love this band. Got to see these young ladies on Kiss Cruise 7, I believe it was, Thunder Mother. The album's called Black and Gold. Key tracks for me, title track Black and Gold, some cool talk box in that. I Don't Know You, Watch Out, and they have a ballad on there called Hot Mess. Guanica Mancini is the singer in that band. Her voice is just fucking incredible. She is just an amazing singer. I love the vibe of the band. They're just a straightforward hard rock band. Just absolutely killer. I wish they would come back to the they did play the States. They opened up for Scorpions on their tour this year, but unfortunately I did not get to see any of those shows. My number 2 is one that I totally disagree with Dylan and BC on this one. Ozzy Osbourne, Patient, number 9. I think it blows away Ordinary Man. I think it's way better. Some key tracks on there for me. Nothing Feels Right, Mr. Darkness, Immortal, One of Those Days. I like it.
Mr. Darkness?
I like the whole vibe. I think it feels more of a cohesive album, I think, than Ordinary Man did. I like the guests on there. Eric Clapton plays on it. Tony Iommi plays on it. Of course, Zakk Wylde tears it up on there.
Jeff Beck
plays on there. Mike McCready from Pearl Jam plays on there. Andrew Watts is the producer on this one. Again, he plays on it. Chad Smith, Duff McKagan plays on it. Just absolutely killer. I love the album. It hit me right away. And so I don't know what you guys are talking about. I think it's fucking fantastic. And my number 1 album is Queensryche Digital Noise Alliance. Love, love, love this album. I've probably listened to this album at least 100 times already. Killer. We did a rather in-depth review of it on the I Remember Now podcast with myself, Ray, and Texas Steve. Key tracks on there. Lost in Sorrow, my favorite track on that album. Behind the Walls, Realms, In Extremis, and Chapters. Just there's not a skip around there. They do a version of Rebel Yell at the end of the album. People are like, oh, it ruins the album. It's not. It's a fucking bonus track. It's a bonus track. It's not really part of the album. Just take it as a standalone track. I think Todd sings it great. The band performs it great. He has the ows and the woos and everything in there that you're so used to on Rebel Yell from Billy Idol. But the album itself is just fantastic. The musicmanship is great. It's the first album with Casey Grillo on drums. He absolutely fucking kills it. First album that Mike Stone is back on. He was on some of the albums in the mid-2000s, but he's back in the band. Once Parker Lundgren was out of the band, Mike Stone is back. Great fit for the band. Great live. Him and Michael Wilton play some killer solos on there. Eddie Jackson, typical Queensryche bass sound on that album, I think. Just absolutely killer. And so that's my 5. Tokyo Blade, Fury, Kiss and Dynamite, Not the End of the Road, Thunder Mother, Black and Gold, Ozzy Osbourne, Patient, number 9, Queensryche Digital Noise Alliance. What do you think, BC?
Tokyo Blade, I gotta check this out. I mean, you've always been waving the flag for this band. Kiss and Dynamite, I've checked out once or twice. Cool. Thunder Mother, another band I have to get more into. Number 2 was your Ozzy pick. And number 1, Queensryche. Come on. I'll talk more about that.
Yeah, I'm really glad you picked Kissing Dynamite for the middle of the year album, because I think that's a really fantastic album, and I'm glad that it made your list this far down.
It stuck with me. I've listened to it.
It's got some good guitar work on there. You'll notice with my list, the guitars are usually what bring me into an album, and this one I feel like has some cool riffs in it. Like I said with Ozzy, it's not that I don't like the Ozzy album, it's just that I don't I don't know, I just don't vibe with it as much as a lot of other people do. Maybe it's like a Senjutsu situation for me, where, it's just not to my ear, but, it's a good album. I'm not like, wow, I can't believe that made your end of the year list. I absolutely understand why it made it. It didn't vibe with me particularly. And Queensryche, I knew that was going to make your list. I mean, you started a Queensryche podcast this year with other Queensryche fans, and I know you talked about this album on one of those episodes, but the songs that they played live from this album were really good. I haven't listened to the album too much, but those songs
We only got one.
Yeah.
We only got one.
Yeah, that song
But they have been playing 2. We got Behind the Walls. They have been playing In Extremis and Behind the Walls.
Okay.
We got kind of shorted on our set list, which I don't know why.
Yeah. But Behind the Walls was great.
Behind the Walls was fantastic.
A really great live track. So that's an album I'll have to listen to a little more. But a very solid top 5.
All right. Let's go with BC's top 5.
Top 5, again. Out of my top 5, when I get the 3, 2, 1 is just... I can't pick
Throw
one.
a dart.
Throw a dart. I can't pick one
Dealer's
over the
choice.
other. It's just 3 great albums in my book. But who am I? Number 5, we talked about this a few times, Saxon, Carpe Diem. I mean, still good. I mean, maybe not as strong as last, but still better than the Covers album. Because I got scared after that. I'm like, oh, God, help us.
Yeah, why?
I mean, to me, this is a band that kept getting stronger as they went on until they got to the Covers album.
Was that
I
Inspirations?
think that was a COVID boredom album.
I guess so.
We'll give them a pass on that one.
They should have played golf or something. But anyways, I love it. It's just overall great. Standout to me is The Pilgrimage. I guess not really heavy, but not really, just
good
solid.
mid-tempo or...
My number 4 album is going to be Municipal Waste with the Electrified Brain. I mean, I think it was Dylan that brought this band up, and I was like, modern, So I threw it on, and I was like, ooh. And like you said, it's only maybe 34 minutes long. Standout to me, there's not a bad song on there, but Grave Dive is, I love that song. But I mean, there's a band that just comes on, and they have a bunch of more albums that I've been checking out. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's just, you want to throw it on, just get crazy. This is the band to throw it on. Number 3 is going to be Megadeth with the Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. I mean, this is one of my favorite bands of all time. I mean, just another great album. I mean, Toxic Chernobyl stands out. I love the whole album. I mean, some people don't like Dave Mustaine for multiple reasons, but who gives a fuck? Again, my top 3 is just... There's no rhyme or reason for this. Queensryche with the Digital Noise Alliance. These guys really, to me, I mean, their albums have always been strong, but this one just has a different niche to it. Like you said, maybe because they're together so long now, and Casey's actually on the album, and brought back the Stoner. Steve named the songs I would name, so I'm not going to name anything off that. I really, really, really dig this Skid Row album. The Gainesville has that old school Skid Row feel, and I think Steve mentioned I really like Time Bomb. I mean, there's not a skip around or even the slow song. I mean,
No, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's like the only one that's not totally kicking.
Yeah. I throw this album on. It's just, like I said, Eric brings a whole new level to the band in my book. Brings a energy that has been not lacking, but just, I don't know. It's just the energy level is so much higher with him in the band. It's just, it's Eric.
Yeah, good Good list. Saxon on my list, of course. Fantastic. That Municipal Waste album is crazy.
Crazy.
It's like 14 songs in like 30 minutes or something like that. But there's like so much packed into that album. Time changes and shit. Fucking crazy. Great pick. Megadeth, like I said, I just finally listened to that all the way through a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I enjoyed the second half of the album a little more than the front half. But that Dogs of Chernobyl is fantastic. And actually, that song changes because I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks. But then it kills. You know what I mean? It brings me back. It had me out, then it brings me back in. And you're right. The Queensryche album, like I said, that was my number one. But what I think one of the main things about the Queensryche album is Todd is more Todd on that album. Todd is not,
He's not doing Jeff
not
Tate.
doing Jeff Tate. Todd is doing Todd, and I think it's great. I think he comes off fantastic, but it's still Queensryche. It's still that Queensryche. And I talked about Skid Row before. Just one word just describes that for me is energy.
I am so happy you put Municipal Waste on the list. I'm going to be talking about it more in my top 5, but yeah, I'm glad that you vibed with it because if anybody was going at this table, I figured it'd be you.
I ran out and get the vinyl.
Yeah. Megadeth, that's one I need to listen to more. It's I don't know why. I just like every time I go to listen to it, I think it's like with you where like you get distracted by something else or something, you have to do something else before, but I don't know, I haven't had a chance to really sit down, listen to it front to back and give it a chance. But I mean Queensryche, Saxon, those are all fantastic picks. Skid Row, of course, made my list. Really great, solid top 5. All albums that I've heard of, at least, so I could comment on all of them.
Yeah, and so 2 lists down, mine and BC's, and before we get to our next section, we're going to play one of the songs from one of my top 5 albums, and I'm going to play Yoko Ono from Kissin' Dynamite. Fun song. Check it out.
Yoko Ono.
She was the one, her certain something started driving me mad. I had her on the hook until she took the situation in hand. She went down, 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 dead and gone was my will. Spin me round, 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 and I swallowed the pill. My God, all that she said went to my head, and history was my band. Oh, 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 she's a Yoko, oh no, I'm under her spell. She's a Yoko, oh no, my ticket to hell. She's a drop dead cheater.
right. Hope you guys enjoyed little Yoko Ono. Hope you enjoyed a little more than the actual Yoko Ono. And so we're going to, for this part, instead of a hidden gem, I just want to touch on real quick. If you guys could think of anybody else, let me know. Just some of the rockers that, that we know that have passed away in 2022 that I kind of wanted to touch on. I don't want to, bring the podcast down, but just more of a tribute section than a somber thing here. Taylor Hawkins from Foo Fighters, Randy Rand from Autograph, John Alex Such from Bon Jovi passed away, Meatloaf, Johnny Z and his wife from Megaforce Records, and they died within a couple months of one another. And Johnny Z just put a book out last year, good friends with our buddy Carl Kennedy. Steve Grimmett from Grim Reaper, he passed away.
Yeah.
And I don't know their names, and I apologize for any Nazareth fans out there, but two of the original guys from Nazareth passed away also. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on anybody. Dylan, you probably have more than,
Yeah, Taylor Hawkins especially was a hard loss. Somebody that was so full of life, like in everything that he did. It was really great that Foo Fighters had such a nice kind of couple of years leading up to it, and the Taylor Hawkins tribute was super touching. Something that was full of joy, but also full of memories and fantastic things. He's a drummer that his playing always elevated whatever song he was in. He would bring 110% to it. So it's that's one that really kind of hit me right at home. But yeah, it's a lot of losses. Meatloaf was another big one. Sad to see people go before their time, but they're remembered through their music and their fans, and they're not forgotten for sure.
Yeah, I mean Taylor Hawkins. I mean, there's a guy that like his counter band, David Grohl. He was fun. He loved the music. He wasn't just doing it.
He's also a fan.
He's also a fan. I mean, great drummer, like Dylan said, brought everything to a new level. I mean, Randy Rand Autograph. I mean, that was kind of just sudden because did their album, and then all of a sudden it was like boom, he's gone. And at first I thought it was one of those like
one of those fake news things you see. Yeah.
But and there's a guy that just loved to play music. I mean,
yeah,
he kept it going. I mean, we didn't talk about that album. That was another disappointing album. I forgot to mention it.
Yeah.
Not saying it's bad, just I don't know. I was thinking something else.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it more than you did. So it didn't. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And for me, Taylor Hawkins, I was glad that I got to see him play live at least once.
Yeah.
That was my main thing for him. He was a fantastic drummer. Another guy, energy.
Good singer too.
Good singer. Very, very sad. What the circumstances there. Randy Rand, he was always good, and he was the last original member of Autograph in the band. Alec John Such from Bon Jovi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he passed away this year. And and you come to find out that like he really didn't even play Hugh McDonald played on the albums. So he was like pretty much their touring bassist, I guess. So Meatloaf, No More Paradise by the Dashboard Life, like Dylan.
Nope. Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. So any death is terrible, and and like BC said, Autograph, like they literally had the album done, and he passed away like maybe like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before it came out or something like that. So, and they're playing shows, so I don't know what's going to happen with them going forward, if they're just going to still be Autograph with no Pull a Foreigner. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I do love their music. The new album, I did like it. It didn't make my list at all, but I only listened to it once, so I will have to spend some more time with that. And so before we get back into it again, Dylan's going to pick a song from his top 5.
Yeah, I was going to pick a song from my number 1, but I won't do that. I'll pick a song from a local band, well, kind of local, Crowbot from Pottsville. The song off their album Feel This, Electrified. It's the lead-off track.
Electrified. Look into my eyes and see into my mind. I can never die, I am immortalized. Keep them terrified, fear will paralyze. Unleashed into the night, I'm ready to ignite. Blood rushing underneath the broken bones. Keep pumping till we explode, till we explode. I hear your cries in the shadow of the night. When lightning strikes, my engine's amplified. Feel my bite, I'll keep the monsters in my sights. It's time to fight, my power is inside. Whoa, the world is mine. Electrified, electrified. Whoa, I'll keep you more alive. Electrified, electrified. I am not afraid, predator me prey. Hide among the snakes, I'll keep the wolves at bay. While you sit and pray, waiting to decay, your ending still awaits. I rule the world today. Blood rushing underneath the broken bones. Keep pumping till we explode, till we explode. I hear your cries in the shadow of the night. When lightning strikes, my engine's amplified. Feel my bite, I'll keep the monsters in my sights. It's time to fight, my power is inside. Whoa, the world is mine. Electrified, electrified. Whoa, I'll keep you more alive. Electrified, electrified.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed Little Crowbot there. Feel This is the album, right?
Feel This is the album.
Feel This is the album. Electrify was the song. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And we are going to get Dylan's list right now. His top 5.
Yeah, my top 5. Only one of these albums has been talked about tonight, and that'll be the one that I start off with. My number 5, the pick that I share with BC, Municipal Waste with Electrified Brain. This is such a great old school feeling thrash album. Every song on there just has a fantastic get off your ass and punch somebody in the face vibe to it. The song that I picked also as my kind of like example song was Grave Dive, which BC picked. Such a good, grooving, just chugger of a song. But you got 10 Cent Beer Night, if
there were only such a thing anymore.
The Paranormal Janitor, Thermonuclear Protection. Just a fantastic album. It goes by too fast. You just But it goes by fast enough that you can just start it all over and get back in the pit. It's a fantastic, fantastic thrash album for the pick. And I'm keeping it heavy with my number 4 with the band Spirit World Death Western. This is a band that this album came out this month. The album cover caught my eye immediately. I put it on, and it blew me away. It's almost a mix between Testament, Slayer, Power Trip, a little bit of Mastodon thrown in there. Heavy vocals, heavy guitars, cool time changes. The drums have such an awesome tempo change throughout all the songs. There's got that Slayer woo parts into it that work really well. But it's just an album. It's a zombie killing album, as I like to call it, where you can just put it on in the post-apocalypse, run down the zombies with your truck, just kick some ass to it. Fantastic, fantastic album that it just gets better and better the more I listen to it. Number 3, again, I'm keeping it heavy. This was the surprise of the year that this was an album. Dave Grohl decided to do an album to go along with Studio 666, Dream Widow, self-titled, that it's just a tribute to all forms of metal. There's some thrash stuff in there. There's some Black Sabbath tributes in there. It just runs the gamut throughout the album. And The Sweet Abyss is probably the song that I would pick for Dream Widow. And I forgot to mention the song for Spirit World, Purified in Violence is probably the song I'd go for that. But Dream Widow, it's just a really, it showcases how much of a metal fan Dave Grohl is. And his vocals work perfectly for it. He does the screaming. He does the clean vocals. It's just fantastic. And it's a really great underground release that, again, it didn't have to be as good as it was because it was made for the movie. But it kicks ass. It does. My number 2 album, the song that I featured from Crowbot's Feel This. Their first album was on my list, I think 2019, and I was concerned that this album was going to be maybe a sophomore slump. It absolutely was not. The grooves that these guys come up with their guitar riffs and tempos and beats, it's just catchy and fantastic. I just, every time I'm listening to this album, my head is bouncing up and down. The vocals are really great. They got this like kind of rustic feel to them that adds some balls to it. It's an album that just, it keeps on coming. This is a band that deserves more recognition than they have. Everything they put out so far has been aces in my book. Crowbot Feel This is my number 2. However, it could not beat my number 1 album. This is the album that has been on my playlists over and over again. I would just continue to listen to it long after it came out. It's Ghost with Impera. I didn't think that they could top Prequel. I loved Prequel. Those songs are still in my rotation as well. But Impera came out and they had the like hair metal scream at the beginning of Kaiserian, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a ride. And it really is. There is so many different little nods to other artists. Like Spillways has the ABBA piano, jaunty piano at the beginning of it that kills me every time. There's just such catchy songs. Watcher in the Sky is great. Hunter's Moon was featured in the new Halloween movie. Papa Emeritus and the gang of nameless ghouls have done it again. This is a fantastic album that not only is heavy and catchy, but it's fun. It's a fun album. It makes you smile. There's the hokey Halloween cheesiness of it all, but the musicianship behind it is still so good that you can't help but be impressed by these guys. So my top 5: Municipal Waste with Electrified Brain, Spirit World with Death Western, Dream Widow with their self-titled, Crowbot with Feel This, and Ghosts with Impera. Well, what do you think of the list, Dad?
I like it. Actually, I've heard something from all of these, which for your list is unusual for me. Municipal Waste, I talked about that before. That album's just freaking cool, crazy. Spirit World, I had this one in my Apple Music for a while. I just had not got a chance to listen to it. So Dylan had me throwing on today. I played like 2 songs. I was like, BC, you gotta listen to this fucking album. It's fucking from what the 2 songs I heard were kick ass. Dream Widow, that was fun to listen to. That was I didn't know what to expect, and that wasn't it, but in a good way. Like you said, he does the vocals, like, but even get the like the Cradle of Filth shit, like kind of stuff in there that is very cool. Crowbot, I had listened to this when it first came out. I hadn't gotten back to it, but I do remember I was like, this is good. I just didn't get a chance to spend any more time with it. And when you hear my honorable mentions, you'll know why. Ghost Impera, I just didn't have room for this in my top 10, and it's one of my most listened to albums this year as well. Kaisarian is friggin' fantastic. Spillways, Watcher in the Sky, 20s is fantastic. Griftwood,
Call Me Little Sunshine.
Call Me
Little Sunshine.
It's good. I call them Satan's pop band.
Yeah.
I really like these guys. I do. I've had every album since the first time that I heard of them. The first time I ever heard of them was on that metal show when Jim Florentine showed their initial CD, and I went out and I bought it that week, and I've had every Ghost release since then, and this is no exception. But some people hate the direction that they're going in.
I love it.
They hate it. They're like, I like how they've evolved. I think they've become more fun. I think they kind of got away from the Satan shit a little bit, and then they brought it back on this one. But like in a fun way. I think they're a fun band. I like their look, their feel, I just think they're a cool band. I enjoy them. I think I enjoy it. It's good list. What do you think, BC?
Oh, come on, 4 out of 5. I'm very familiar with it. That was a little surprising. I thought, but not bad. Municipal Waste, like I said, I love these guys. I've downloaded all their albums to check out their other stuff. Spirit Road is the only one I never heard before.
You would really like it, I think.
You will.
What you're saying?
I'll play it when we're done.
It sounds good. Dream Widow. I mean, I remember he brought that up before. I was like, yeah, this is, and like you said, he fucking rocks this album, Dave Grohl. And going back to what I said before, he is a guy that loves music. He's a fan of music, and you could tell when he did this album. Crowbot. I mean, again, I love the first one, so I didn't get really to check out a lot of this second, but if it's anything like I'm gonna love it.
It is. Yeah.
And Ghost, I'm not really familiar with this one. I heard some stuff, but that's another one I gotta sit down and check out a bit more. But strong top 5.
Thank you.
All
Let's
right.
hear BBs.
Let's hear BBs. Okay. So for number 5, BB has Megadeth, The Sick, the Dying, the Dead, and the Dying. Is it Sick, the Dying, and the Dead, or Sick, the Dead,
Sick, the Dying,
The Sick,
and the
the
Dead.
Dying,
Okay,
Dead.
I have
It's
that.
going like
I
it's
have that
getting
reversed.
worse and worse.
Okay. He has Striper, The Final Battle for number 4. Number 3, Queensryche, Digital Noise Alliance. Number 2, Talus, 1985. And he has the Skid Row Gangs all here for number 1.
Nice.
So I think we pretty much talked about all of those albums.
Except Talus, but
Except Talus.
I'm not as familiar with Talus.
Have you checked that out, BC?
I checked out a little bit, like 1985, and I like what I heard. I gotta sit down and
Yeah, I listened to the album all the way through once, and I checked it out a little bit more today. Good, solid album, and you could definitely hear within the first 3 seconds of that, it's Billy Sheehan on bass.
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean? It's like right off the bat, and you guys have heard that song already. But fun list. So what I'll do, let's talk about real quick. We'll do a couple, or more than a couple, honorable mentions if you have any. You got any, BC?
I have a bunch, but I'm just going.
Read whatever you got.
I got a Jolin Turner. He just came out with the one not too long ago with Billy the Beast. I mean, I liked them from Yinbei and all the stuff, but this one is like put it on, you're like, whoa. I was like, wow, very cool. So check that out. And I'm gonna throw. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce what he goes by nowadays. Whatever the fuck, Jizzy Pearl. It's Jizzy Pearl's Love Hate, I guess. Hell, California. I mean, it's good. It's just Jizzy rock, I guess you would consider.
His last solo album was good.
Yeah. So I mean, this picks up where the last solo album came out. I mean, they're two right off the top of my head.
All right, you got any, Dylan?
Yeah,
I got a bunch, so you might as well go next.
Yeah, I have a few. Manic Sinners, King of the Badlands. That was one that I really I kind of liked when I first listened to it, but I didn't get too many listens past that to kind of go in there. Scorpions, Rock Believer. It was originally on my list, but then as I listened to it, I was like, I don't know if it's
Worthy.
quite top 10 worthy, but it's still a solid album.
It's a good album.
And then like a lot of them were ones that you all mentioned in your lists proper. So
Okay. Yeah, for me, Striper Final Battle, definitely. War Kings came out with an album this year. Again, it's called Morgana. It would have been in my top 10 probably, but I didn't get enough time to spend with it. But it's really good. Really, really good. House of Lords, Saints and Sinners. Very good. New Hammerfall album. Hammer of Dawn, Ghost and Pair I have on there. I have Skid Row on there. And BC, you mentioned him, that Joe Lynn Turner album, The Belly of the Beast, right? I think it's Belly of the Beast.
Yes.
That is a fucking metal album.
Yeah.
And Joe Lynn Turner's vocals are fantastic on there. And it's not like the operatic Joe Lynn Turner. It's solid metal vocals from Joe Lynn Turner. It is fucking killer. And if I listened to this album probably 2 more times, it would have been in my top 10. One band that I may have talked to you briefly about these guys a couple years ago. Garish and the Chronicles. It's called Hail to the Heroes. You got to check this album out, BC. It's heavy, and they're a band from India.
How do you spell?
I'll show you after. Five Finger Death Punch, their new album Afterlife, I thought was really solid. And Mark Anthony Kaye, Project Gemini, in the book 3073, book 3, and the Dark Monarchy album that I spoke about before, Cheris Securio. Sorry, Mark, I'm butchering it. You're killing me. Nordic Union, Animalistic, Ronnie Atkins and Eric Martinson, fantastic. Amon Amarth, The Great Heathen Army, love those guys. Clean Break, James Durbin, Robert Sweet, and Perry Richardson. And I apologize, I don't recall the guitar player's name. I always mess that up. I apologize. I have the Black Swan down there. My boys Wolf, Shadowland, Sabaton, The War to End All Wars. Tony Martin, old singer from Black Sabbath, had an album called Thorns. That came out like right at the beginning of last year. Excellent. Monster Truck Warriors, Dylan kind of led to them. 1985. New Ultra Bridge album. I actually got a chance to check that out. Really good. Miles Kennedy vocals, Mark Tremonti.
good year for Miles Kennedy.
And Lillian Axe I have for my last one there, BC, from Tomb to Womb.
You actually
Womb to Tomb.
reminded me of another honorable mention. Tremonti sings Sinatra. I was telling you guys about that.
Yeah, you were saying.
He sounds exactly like Frank Sinatra, and they are like straight covers, really fantastic. Definitely check it out if you're interested in hearing that. Mark Tremonti is a very talented musician.
Another one I forgot, House of Lords.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we wrap up, we're going to talk about what are we looking forward to for this year. Could be concerts, albums, whatever. How about you, Don?
Yeah, I mean, concert-wise, I'm definitely looking forward to Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Exodus. That's checking a lot of the Power Than Hell boxes for us.
Yeah.
So very excited for that. But I was looking through kind of Wikipedia's musicians working on projects that might be released in the next year. Some of the artists that kind of popped out at me, Anthrax, of course. Avenged Sevenfold, they haven't really put out something since, I think, 2018. So I'll be very interested to hear what they come out with. Judas Priest, of course, follow-up to Firepower. Firepower was fantastic. So if it's half as good as that, we're in for a treat. Overkill, very excited for Overkill, working on new stuff. Testament, again, another thrash staple. And King Diamond. I saw that he's coming out with an album that'll be very exciting because we love our Danish metal singer
awesome.
there.
All right, and for me, definitely looking forward to the new Metallica album coming out.
Yes, same.
72 Seasons. I have that pre-ordered. And Winery Dogs are having an album come out. Steel Panther. New Godsmack album, BC, coming out that is supposed to be their last album. That's what they're saying. And my boys Avatar, they have an album coming out in February. I think it's called Dance Devil Dance. And there's a couple songs released from that already that I've been really enjoying. So, and thing I'm looking forward to most this year is this right here. Hanging with you guys, talking about stuff and busting each other balls and going to shows, talking about them and albums and everything. So, how about you, BC?
Ooh, I like you guys, Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Exodus. That's going to be cool. Of course, looking forward to Cruise. We're going to try to chill out a little bit more this year instead of running around like chickens without our heads. Album-wise, you guys mentioned a bunch of them, but I'm looking forward to the supposedly new Roxanne album.
I was just thinking about them today. Mm-hmm. All right, so there it is. There's our top 10 albums and more from 2022. We'll go around, read your full list, and say your goodbyes, and we'll get the hell out of here. Go ahead, BC.
All right. Number 10 was Leatherwolf with Kill to Hunt It. Number 9, Striper, The Final Battle. 8, Black Swan, Generation Mind. 7, James LaBrie, Beautiful Shade of Grey. 6, Lillian X, From Womb to Tomb. My number 5 was Saxon, Carpe Diem. Number 4, Municipal Waste with Electrified Brain. 3, Megadeth, The Sick, The Dying, The Dead. Queensryche with Digital Noise Alliance. And to finish it off with Skid Row, Gains All Here. Hey, thanks for everybody for always listening to us and checking us out. And thanks for everybody's come on. You know who you are because I will forget my name most of the time. But like I said, hey, looking forward to another year of surprise episodes, which I think I totally liked it. I totally love what Dylan comes up with. And I'm amazed by how he came up with that last one just that day.
Yeah. That's the secret to my success.
I guess, yeah.
My number 10 album is Moontooth Phototroph. Number 9 is The Warning with Error. Number 8 is Coheed and Cambria with Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind. Number 7 is Skid Row with The Gang's All Here. Number 6 is Dorothy with The Gifts from the Holy Ghost. Number 5 is Municipal Waste with Electrified Brain. Number 4 is Spirit World with Death Western. Number 3 is Dream Widow's self-titled album. Number 2 is Crowbot with Feel This. And number 1 with the bullet is Ghosts in Para. This was a great year for music. I'm really looking forward to 2023. You could check out a lot of our songs that we talked about from our albums on our Spotify playlist of the week, and we'll be able to put out some fantastic songs this year because we all had fantastic picks for our top 10. And I am very much looking forward to another year of the Potter Than Hell podcast, another year conversing with our listeners and hearing their thoughts on all the stuff that we have in store. And it's because of you all that we are able to keep the podcast going. We have a lot of exciting things in store for the Potter Than Hell podcast listeners, I think, coming up in 2023, and I'm very excited to see it all come together.
My top 10 list is number 10, Slash, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators 4. Wicked, The Last American Rock Band. Saxon, Carpe Diem. Ailstorm, Seventh Rum of a Seventh Rum. Tokyo Blade, Fury. Kissin' Dynamite, Not the End of the Road. Thundermother, Black and Gold. Ozzy Osbourne. Patient number 9. And number 1 on my list and in your hearts, Queensryche, Digital Noise Alliance. And first of all, I want to thank you guys. Thank BB for...
And BB's list as well, if you...
And let me give you BB's list before I go crazy here. BB's list. Number 10, Michael Romano. The War of the Worlds Part 2. Seminole, Edge of Forever. Sinner, Brotherhood. Ozzy Osbourne, Patient number 9. Saxon, Carpe Diem. Number 5, Megadeth, The Sick, The Dying, and The Dead. Number 4, Striper, The Final Battle. Number 3, Queensryche, DNA. Number 2, Talus, 1985. And number 1, Skid Row, The Gang's All Here. And once again, thank you guys here for hanging out with me and putting up with my craziness and my typed out shit that I give you guys every week, and it changes every week. Thank you, BB. Hope you're feeling better, my friend. And like I said before, lots of cool shit coming up here. I have shows literally scheduled till June. You're going to hear some old friends, some new friends, us babbling on and on. Babbling on and on. Shut up. So I'm looking forward to this year. It's going to be fun, and I can't wait till this fucking winter's over because it sucks. It hasn't been above freezing in like a fucking week here. The ice is horrible, but this this is great. I love hanging out here, and thank you to our listeners. You guys just like totally rock. Thanks for interacting with us. Thanks for friending us and chatting with us and giving us some ideas for some shows and stuff like that. I enjoy drinking the beers with my boys here. Dylan's got a little fruit punch going today though, but it's just a good time. And you guys seriously get out there, check out some new music. There's going to be more music like every year. It seems like there's more and more. So get out there, go out of your comfort zone once in a while. I mean, I should take my own advice as well, but go out of. If you see a band that cover looks cool, see if you can judge an album by its cover.
Yeah, listen
if
to
it
the
looks
Coheed
cool.
Cambria.
Their album covers suck. But so check out some new stuff. Check out some of these albums. Like I said, if there's something that we didn't mention that you guys want us to check out, let us know. We'll give it a scope out and we'll give you a shout out. We'd appreciate if you can get on Apple Music, give us a nice 5-star review. It'll be awesome. It kind of gets us out there a little more with bigger podcasts and stuff like that. Gives us a little more traction out there. We'd appreciate that. And if you do, we will give you we'll read it on the air. We'll give you a good shout out. And just thanks for hanging with us. We love you guys. Check out some new music. And I'm going to reinstate my statement. Listen to at least one album in its entirety at least once a week, and you will be a better person for it. Give yourself an hour, 45 minutes. Put your headphones on. Just let the world go away. Listen to some music. Just get away from it all. Just enjoy. Do something for yourself like that at least once a week. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to everybody. You'll be a less cranky person. Like you won't be as cranky as me. So do that. Check it out. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We had an awesome year last year. We going to have even a better year this year. So we're looking forward to it. And take care of yourselves and each other. And we will see you next time. And there definitely will be a next time.